wrong, and we don't want to see anyone else.
And, you know, during the last days with X, what were some things he shared with you that the general public may not know?
You're a good interviewer, man. Honestly, so much. A couple things in particular. He shared the fact that he wanted to, he was ready. He was ready to settle down. These are some of the things he actually said. He said to me, he was like, Prophet, he's like, I'm 50. I remember like it was yesterday. He was like, man, I'm 50. He was like, man, something's got to change. I was like, yeah, well, things are changing. You know, and he said, I got all the pieces of the puzzle. You've helped me with that. I got all the pieces before me. He was like, and I'm ready. He was like, I made up my mind. I want to pull back, and I want to, you know, take some time with my family, and you know, get my family together. And he just started running off like this list. He's like, I want to marry Desiree, and he was like, and the ministry. He was like, ministry. You gotta help me with the ministry. I want you to be a part of that. We gotta do this ministry together. And then he paused. This is what get me sometimes. He paused and he looked at me, and he was like, yeah, as if he was reassuring himself or something. Yeah, you gotta help me with the ministry. Now that's eerie to me.
Yes.
Because this happened in the same.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like he wanted me to witness something.
Right.
You know, or he was passing me a baton. Maybe it don't register like that to y'all, but from our relationship, this was not normal.
Right.
To me, you know, and I couldn't see through it, of course.
Right.
Other than taking it for what it was, but now I look back in hindsight, it's a lot of the things that I won't share it all, but I will eventually. But those were a few of the things, and he just was mentioning how we talked about so much. We stayed up one night, like just all through the night. Mm-hmm. And from like 11 that night to like 8 that morning, just talking about everything that's anything. Watching some kind of gangster movie, the news, laughing at this guy, all that. But he was just sharing about how he was enjoying the love that he's getting from the industry people. I shouldn't say the industry, but different people in the industry and so forth. I think you and I talked about that a little bit. Right. And different people in particular, you know, that I'll talk about in a little bit later on. But those are just some of the things. The main thing was he was ready to settle down. He realized that he was getting to an age where he needed to really buckle down on his life, and he was ready to marry Desiree. Shouts out to Desiree, my sister, and that he wanted to get his kids together and, you know, really spending some time with his kids and his family. Yeah.
Right. Definitely. I definitely can understand where you're coming from. It almost seemed like God was talking to him, right, the way you explain it. Like he's like, this is who you need to pass this on to. Right. And that is eerie. It just makes you feel some sort of a way.
Yeah,
and
it does.
With that being said, can you tell us or share, because I did hear you say about how he kind of like was talking about people in the industry that were embracing him, showing him appreciation, showing him love. Can you share a little bit about the conversations, like a little bit more in depth about how he felt about fame in the industry?
Best way to explain that. He appreciated fame, mm-hmm, but he never really wanted it.
I got you.
He felt like fame was a burden. He felt like I got a GED, so y'all have to help me with some words. He felt like fame just blew everything else out of proportion for him.
Right.
Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It like obligated him. Now, don't get me wrong. He loved the love, mm-hmm, but it was a burden on him that he didn't feel worthy of having. I share this story. So Craig, his general manager again, shared a story with me about they were somewhere, and there was this older white lady, and she came up to him and recognized who he was. That's another thing about X. Every ethnicity, race, everybody knew.
Right.
It's known
He
by
was
everybody.
global.
Chinese, it doesn't matter. Where we were, people knew who he was. And so she came up to him and she asked to take a picture with him. So he did that. And she came back around after he did that. And she said, hey, I want to, I may jack the story a little bit, but she said, I want you to talk to my son. He has Down syndrome or something, or some disease that he has. And she said, I dress him every day, put on his clothes and stuff, and then he just kind of sits in the room and just rocks, but he never talks. Mm-hmm. Right? And she said, she asked X to pray for him. And he did, and he prayed for him. And he said, when X prayed for him, the boy started like literally trying to talk, but he usually don't do this. And she was like, she told X, she was like, he usually don't do that, you know. That's definitely God, you know, that's coming out. And at that moment, X looked up to the sky and was like, why, God, why did you put this on me? Right. And that's the humility, you know, that he carried. And it was always like that, like he felt that burden, you know. I forgot what you asked me.
No,
but,
you answered it right, how he felt about the fame.
But so the fame, and he said in some songs, a couple of songs, you know, he's like, bump this, bump the fame, just give me, you know, and he meant that. He meant that, you know. He I mean, you could tell by how he moved and carried himself. Right. He only had bodyguards when he needed it.
Right. Definitely. He was always real.
Oh, wow. You see, when we was around, jumping around, it was me and him.
Just y'all.
He in my truck. He'll drive it sometime. I'll drive it sometime.
No security.
No security. We jump out, talk to whoever we want to talk. Wow. Zero security. Didn't matter.
He's different.
Well, he's just different. And he knew the level of who he was, the level of a famous person who he was. He's a known face, period.
Very.
Like,
when I say globally, globally.
Yeah, everybody knows DMX.
Everybody.
But he wanted to be relatable to people.
Yeah.
And, you know, people probably going to scowl me for saying this, but to me, honestly, the how I know the Word of God, he really exemplified Jesus to me.
Definitely.
Wow, that's powerful.
Honestly.
Yes.
Because to have that caliber, but still want to be relatable to the people, just showed me a side of God. How Jesus said, when you see me, you see the Father.
Yes. And
that cheers me up. But I saw that in him. And that's what kept me walking with him. Because X was a handful. Don't get me... I ain't going to tell you no lie. X was, and anybody that's watching, shouts out to Brother Riders, all his day ones, they know I'm not lying. I only knew him 8 years, which was a long 8 years. But the people that knew him, shout out to you guys too. But yes, X was, and I say a handful, that's being nice.
Yeah, he wasn't nothing to play with, that's for sure.
X was a handful. He battled everything. Funny story too. You say something like, what's a good one? Biblically. He's going to challenge everything.
Okay.
You say something like, okay, X. All right, brother. We got to knuckle down, you know. This is how you're supposed to be. You're supposed to have one wife, blah, 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 not no bunch of chicks, da, 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 da. What about Solomon? This is him. He challenged everything. He challenged everything. And you better have a good answer for it. You know what I mean? Right. You know, what about Solomon? I want him to have, he had 600 wives, 300 concubines. Okay, so I get it. But that was then.
Right.
This is now under the new this, you know. God said every man must have his own wife. Right. So he's going to challenge everything. And he knows. But that's just his personality. Yes. He's not just going to go with just what the norm is.
Right.
If he don't believe it for himself, he's not going to settle for anything. And he's the same way with people, you know, whereas with people, he always stand for the little guy. Right. You know what I'm saying? He stand for the little guy, and he take time. I'm changing conversations a little bit, but X was this type. If you met X right now, he will give you, even though I am who I am to him, right? Mm-hmm. if he's talking to you and I come and interrupt him, he would nicely tell me, give me a minute. Even if we got to go catch a flight,
Right.
Hear me when I say this.
Yeah.
He's already running late for the flight, 'cause that's X.
But I'm gonna finish my
X
conversation.
will miss 2, 3. I'm gonna tell you, no lie. X will miss 2, 3 flights like it's nothing.
Wow.
Don't care.
I'm telling you. I don't care. You said it. You said it. I didn't. But I'm telling you. But sometimes, not all, but sometimes for the right reason, he could be talking to you and running late for something, but he could feel like talking to you in that moment is more important than him making this flight to go wherever he's going.
I love that though.
And he'll be so personal with you, to where, you know, some people just they just listen to you like they listen to you.
Right.
No, he gonna stop. Wait, slow down. Say it again, because I didn't get that. He's gonna be into it with you. Never met you a day in his life, but he's gonna give you that undivided attention. And so with him, he make everybody feel like they're a part of him. It's like that's why we love him so much. That's why we here talking about him, because he leaves a piece of himself everywhere he goes. So he must have had a large heart, because he leaves a piece of him everywhere he goes.
Hey, Culture. Head to the YouTube link in our bio and like and subscribe to our channel for exclusive interviews and updates.
This is
Culture Connect. Culture Connect. Culture Connect.